Welcome to episode 8 of NNNGNSBMNPT Cabin Build Challenge. Today is an exciting one because it's finally time to put the foundation in. So, to start off, I had to plot out the foundation. I cut myself some posts, I went to the build site, and I found 2 points 12 feet apart that looked like it would make a good wall, and then I hammered in the posts. Then, using a pretty square piece of cardboard I found and my tape measurer, I put in the 3rd post and then the 4th to form a relatively fairly square 8x12 rectangle. Then I added 4 more posts in the middles of the first 4. And then that was that. It felt pretty darn cool to be able to get the line set up and walk inside of it all. And imagining where the wall will be, where I'm going to put my bed, where the hearth is going to go, and all that cool stuff. So on to the next step, putting in the actual foundation stone. I chose the front center peg and I dug my hole. Once that was dug, I needed to fill that hole. So I headed over to the gravel factory and I processed some gravel. Once processed, I started with the larger stones and I placed them sharp end down at the bottom of the pit. Next came the medium-sized rocks, more loosely thrown atop, and I stamped that all down. And finally, I brought in a bag of some smaller gravel and poured that all on top for the surface layer. Once again, some stomping, and then finally, I brought in the official, first ever, NNNGNSBMNPT Cabin Foundation Stone. This felt like a pretty big moment to me, and I was real excited looking at it sitting there amongst all the foundation poles. So I brought in one of the timber frame posts just to see what it would look like sitting on top of the stones. It was pretty exciting looking to me, but just to be clear, this is one of the piddly timbers. The timber beam that will actually be sitting here is way bigger and is actually the post that all the Patreon supporters' names are written on. Speaking of which, that's the end of today's video, and here's the Patreon post. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who donated. We already met the goal for that Starlink, which is insane. But again, thank you guys so much, not just to the Patreon supporters, but to everyone watching and liking and following my videos. I'll see you guys in the next one where we finally chisel and set up our first beam.